All right, let's get into it.
Well,
It's Friday.
it's Friday again. Welcome back to another edition of the Warfighter Tobacco Podcast. I'm John. That's Scott. Justin's our producer. And I'm going to spread some cigar knowledge.
Oh, God.
Or something.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, there'll be something about cigars talked about.
Well, do you want to jump right in to see if anybody disagreed with last week's episode?
Yeah, we can.
Do we have any comments, questions?
We got a few questions. We have quite a few questions, actually. So shout out to everybody that went and left a question either on YouTube or Spotify. We greatly appreciate it. The first one is, I've heard that you need to season a new humidor, but have seen people do it in different ways. Do y'all have a preference on seasoning a new humidor or just not bothering with it?
It depends.
Yeah.
If it's a wood humidor, you probably should season it.
Yep.
If it's a Pelican case, you can't really season it.
I mean, you could try. I just don't know if it's gonna do it.
You're not going to accomplish it. And it depends how big it is.
Yeah. So why do you season a wood humidor?
Well, I think the idea behind seasoning it, right, is you get a humidor, it's wood, it's probably dry because it's brand new. And so you want to put moisture into the wood.
Yep.
The wood will absorb some amount of moisture. And then once the wood absorbs that amount of moisture, it's able to keep the cigars and the atmosphere at that amount of moisture.
It helps maintain better.
Easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, if you have a wood humidor or have a humidor that has wood in it and you don't season it, you potentially are, and if you put cigars in it, you're potentially allowing or risking taking humidity out of the cigars.
Yes.
To put into that wood.
Well, yeah, because when so say the wood humidor, right?
Yeah.
You want to keep it at 70%
70%.
humidity, right? So the way you season it is you over humidify it for however long.
Yeah.
Right. And then when you put the cigars in it and you bring it to the, whatever,
It'll settle back out.
It'll settle back out. If you don't season and you just put your cigars in it and you put say you're using the Boveda packs and you put your 72% to keep your, what it's going to do is it's going to suck all that moisture out into the wood, into the cigars, maybe out of the cigars into the wood.
Yeah.
And you're just going to fight with it until it levels off.
Right.
So, and how long will it take to level off?
Who knows?
Right?
Yeah. So Boveda makes 84% packs. That's what we use when we season stuff, humidors, whatever. Me personally, I like to let them sit in there for a week to 10 days, or until that number on the hydrometer levels out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes it'll, like you put the 84 packs in, it'll level out at 70, 72, and it'll sit there for a couple of days. And in my opinion, for what I'm using it for, I'm like, cool. Okay. It maintained a level of humidity for a period of time. In my eyes, I think it's seasoned enough. I can throw cigars in. And I've had pretty good success with that. I've never had to re-season a humidor because of that. I know Boveda says, I think they say 2 weeks.
I don't even know.
And then you pull your 84% packs, and if it's a wood humidor or desktop, put 72% packs in it and go from there. But yeah, I mean, the one like our green desktop humidors that we sell on the website, when I season it for about a week with 84s. I think it got to 68% on the dial, and I was impatient. So I pulled it out, replaced it with 320 gram, 72%, and then threw probably 50, 60 cigars in there. And then I shut it, and I didn't open it for 4 days. That's where I think where a lot of people mess up, because they season the humidor, and then they go right into using it. Open, close, open, close, open, close, and they're just dumping humidification. They're not allowing the humidor to settle again.
Yeah.
Your time is your friend when it comes to seasoning and prepping a humidor. When I make changes to it, I usually make a change. I let it sit for a couple of days, let it settle back out, and then I'll see and go off of that.
See, I got bigger things to worry about in my life, so I just throw the cigars and the Boveda in there, and I in 6 weeks it'll be where it needs to be. So
yeah, I think a lot of people. I mean, you have to pay attention to it, but I think a lot of people like over stress.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and they're like, "Oh, my humidor is at 67%. I can't get it to 70." Like, does it matter? Do you really need to?
Yeah.
Like in a perfect world, yeah, that 70% is where you got to be. But like we've talked about it before on the show, like I like my stuff between 61 and 63%, a little bit on the drier side.
Yeah, I like mine about 65 to 67.
Yeah. And everybody's different.
Yeah.
Is there a right way? I don't know. Depends who you ask. Is there a wrong way? Yes.
Yeah. 75% humidity. That's the wrong way.
That's the wrong way. Or 55%.
Yeah.
That's the wrong way.
Yeah.
If you're sitting between 60 and 70, you're probably good.
Yeah.
If you're fighting to get 67 to 70, it's going to be a fight. You know what I mean? Some of those humidors, that's where it likes to sit.
Yeah.
It might leak too much. It might not seal perfectly. If it's a glass top, that glass might leak.
Well, not just the glass leaking, but I bet light has to affect it somehow.
Right. Like there's so many factors that go into it.
Thinking about that, my one humidor that's a little bit less humid
by the window.
It's by the window.
Yeah.
And it's a glass top.
Yep.
I bet if I move that bitch, it'll jump up a couple percentage.
Probably. Yep. So I put mine in the middle of my house, away from all walls, windows, and doors, and out of direct sunlight. And it maintains great. When I looked this morning before I left the house, it was 69%.
Yeah.
And I got a 72 pack in there. And actually with all this, and I'm surprised because all the cigars that are in there right now are all the cigars that I got from the trade show, from, the trading baseball cards, trading Warfighters for somebody else's. But because we're in Vegas for, 7 days, and Vegas is a desert, they're very, very dry and brittle.
Yeah.
So I figured it would just suck all the humidification out of that humidor, but no. But like I said, I threw them in there. We got back, almost 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
I opened it once since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I'm looking forward to some of those cigars once they
Yeah, and how big of a deal is it to season versus not seasoning at all and just using it? I don't know if it's a big deal.
I just think it's going to take longer to get to that.
It'll take longer to bring all your cigars
up to the proper levels.
Yeah.
And it'll take longer for your humidor to settle out wherever it's going to live at.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's a big deal though. It's just time.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the seasoning starter kits on our
Actually,
website.
I think those are on sale right now.
They
too.
are, yeah.
If you go on our website and go to the sale tab, you can pick up the Boveda seasoning kits. They come with 84% packs and then 72% packs.
I think the choice is whether you have a certain size.
Yeah, 50 count or 100 count. If you don't know, just get the 100 count.
It'll just work faster.
The good thing about their two-way humidification pack, so it only puts the humidification out to the level of what percent's on there.
Yeah, that's the beauty about using these packs. You can't over humidify.
Yeah, it's not just like you're putting like the beads in.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about the wrong way to season a humidor though, and that's to get a sponge and tap water and rub the outsides.
Don't ever use tap water for any reason whatsoever.
Because all it does is create mold in.
Well, you put a whole bunch of imperfections or not imperfections,
impurities, just
minerals and bacteria and just shit that's in the tap water.
Yeah,
that's not filtered out.
Yeah,
and now you're adding essentially temperature and moisture to it to allow it to grow, and then you're going to have mold and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you're going to have a
petri dish,
an on-post housing situation.
Yeah. Military barracks in your humidor.
You don't want that.
But yeah, if whatever water you decide to use, make sure it's from an RO system or it's distilled.
Yeah,
and that's it. The only two options.
Yeah. And then there's those fancy gels and jellies and. One thing that works fairly decent are those balls, the little Orbeez balls.
Yeah. Those have, I can't remember exactly what the percentage is, but they're designed to essentially hold humidity to a certain level. Like they're designed to hold the moisture and only release it for a certain percentage of humidity.
Yeah.
I just don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So the Orbeez that you get, like the Orbeez guns, that's not. It's similar to what we're talking about.
You just have to use distilled water instead of tap water.
But they release humidity at a different level than the ones that are designed for humidors.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. But, we use Cigar Oasis machines in our stand-up humidors in the front of the shop. And those have those beads in it. We use just
I think
RO or distilled
the biggest
water.
thing that they do is they don't evaporate quickly.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do a whole podcast on humidors and humidification.
Yeah.
It's a deep rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just depends how crazy you want to get with it. And then if you have a self-contained unit that does its own temperature regulation as well, you tend to fight with that a little bit because, say it's in a warmer room and you're kicking in cold air now that's sucking out humidification.
Yeah.
And you got to add it and it's not even. And, there's every humidor has its little, quirks.
What's the next question?
All right. The next question is, I've never smoked cigars before, but I've listened to every Warfighter podcast and a bunch of the Freedom Friends. What cigar should I get first?
If it's one individual cigar, I say try the 762 Field, which is our Sumatra. We specifically blended that one for people who don't smoke a lot of cigars. It doesn't have a lot of big nicotine kick. It's tastes good. It's very mellow all the way through. But if you're going to get more than one, get a variety pack and see
which one you like.
See which one you like the best. So,
the trick with cigars is you don't know what you like until you try it. And it kind of is the same with alcohol, with whiskey or wine. Like I could tell you what my favorite is, and you could drink it or smoke it and be like, that's horrible. Like how do you like this?
Well, you like gin. That's
exactly. And I know you don't, but I thoroughly enjoy it. And so I could say that this is the best drink in the world.
And most other things, like food wise, we agree on almost everything.
Yep.
So
yeah. But same thing with cigars. Like I've had people be like, "Oh man, you got to try this cigar. It's blah blah blah. It's this. It's that. It's the other thing." And then I'll get one and I'll smoke it, and I'm just like, "Ooh,
yeah,
okay, our palates are way different."
Yeah.
Start with something. That's the best way.
And pay attention to what you start with.
Yes.
And
where it's from.
If you just buy a cigar and you smoke it and you're like, oh, I like it. Well, you should know then, or even if you don't like it, you should know what wrapper it has. You should know what kind of what's in it.
Save the band.
Yeah.
Save the bands of the ones that you like. That helps so much. But like Scott was saying, if you find out where it's from or what type of wrapper it has, say it's Nicaraguan.
But say you have 10 bands now, right? So you do a little Google, what's in each of these cigars, and you find, oh, they all have this.
Yeah.
I must like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Look for the commonalities in it.
Yeah.
But try different cigars from different regions, different areas, different strengths. One thing that I've learned being in this industry for as long as we have is people think they like a certain type of strength. In reality, it's sometimes the opposite.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, mild, medium, full body. Oh, I love full bodied cigars. Okay, cool. Well, what do you normally smoke? And they list off like 3 or 4 cigars and they're all like super mild.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. But yeah, just keep trying them. As Scott says, his favorite cigar is the one he hasn't had yet.
Sometimes I only get like a quarter of the way through that cigar and find out it's not my favorite.
Nope, this isn't the one. Yeah. That happened earlier today.
Yeah.
Yep. What do we got next?
All right. The next one is, if you buy a box of cigars, can you keep the cigars in the box if you leave it sealed? Or how long after opening the box do you have till you need to get the cigars into a humidor?
Well, that depends.
It depends.
So
your environmentals.
Yeah. So the box could have a Boveda pack in it, which could help.
Yeah.
Right. But all your cigars, when they leave Nicaragua, are going to be on the higher side of the humidity, right? So if you buy a box, it depends how old that box is. It depends where you bought that box from. But usually the cigars will self-regulate their own humidity in a box of cigars a little bit. Because you have all the cigars are, say,
It's like a week or two.
a week or two.
Yeah.
Not forever.
No.
But keeping the box sealed would help that.
Yeah.
Um,
But if you don't have a way to keep them in a humidor or for that amount, a cheap option is to get a couple Boveda packs, 69%, throw them in a Ziploc bag.
yeah.
Take them out of the box,
Yeah.
throw them in a Ziploc.
Or
put them in a Tupperware.
Just put the whole box in a Ziploc.
Yeah, if you
Like-
can fit it.
Yeah.
Yep. I will always recommend humidification on cigars. And like I just said, the simplest way is just grab a Boveda pack, throw it in a Ziploc bag. The best part is once you smoke all those cigars, keep that Ziploc bag sealed. That Boveda is still going to be good.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so then you just get more cigars, put them back in that Ziploc until you get yourself a good humidor.
Like even if people use Tupperware,
Yeah, Tupperware,
you know.
anything that seals.
Yeah.
Yep. But I always recommend humidification. I would not recommend leaving them in their box, in the original box, unless it's in a humidor. And after shipment, I would recommend putting it in a humidor or Ziploc with Boveda pack or whatever.
I think the bigger problem with after a shipment that you have to worry about is the temperature changes.
That too.
You know, I think you need to let it, you know, if it gets real hot or real cold in shipping, then you need to let it sit for a couple days and reclimatize.
Yep.
Otherwise,
Settle
it could be
back out.
brittle or whatever. So,
Yeah. Yeah, the drastic temperature changes and drastic humidification changes are what can damage a cigar just by itself
yeah.
without touching it, dropping it, doing anything. Just the expanding and contracting of the leaves, can cause a wrapper to crack or something. It's a natural product. What else?
The last question we have is, what are the worst type of people in the cigar community and why?
Oh, that's a weird question. Worst type of people.
Okay, who do we want to shit on?
Well, types of people
The worst types of people at the trade show.
at the trade show.
Yeah.
Well,
I have the two that I think we're going to agree upon.
I'm sure that we agree already.
Okay, the first one is the trade show, not PCA, the convention center employees
Yeah.
and the unions and the people that set up and walk around and do all the stuff. Like, yes, some of them are cigar smokers and they're awesome people.
Yeah.
And they came in our booth, they hung out, we bullshitted for 15, 20 minutes. But then the ones that are just walking around that are just trying to get free shit, like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
You're not here for anything else besides work.
Right.
And you're just trying to, like, no. That's my number one.
Okay. This is maybe a little rude, but I don't care. If you're a friend owns a shop and you go to PCA and you walk around from booth to booth and you pretend like you have a badge that says which shop you belong to,
Yep.
where you're from.
And you're walking around collecting cigars,
Well-
acting like you're influencing what the shop's going to purchase.
Yes. Now, I hate that.
Yep.
Now, if you're a friend owns a cigar shop and you go to PCA and the first thing you say when you walk up to the booth is, "Hey, my buddy owns the shop. I don't have anything to do with it. I just want to check out what you have."
Yeah. Awesome.
Best way to open that fucking
Let's talk.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because then I know I'm talking to an end user consumer
Correct.
and I'm not telling you pricing. I'm not, you know what I mean?
But it's not even that.
Right, but
I'm not trying to sell you.
Yeah, we're not talking business.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Now I'm giving you information about the product.
yeah. You don't need to know the show specials.
Yeah.
It's a different conversation that I can have with you if you're an end user consumer
Yeah.
than if you're a retailer.
Yeah. A decision maker
Yeah.
for the shop.
Right.
Yep.
So
There were years ago, there was a shop. I'm not going to name any names, but they would bring employees and friends, or maybe customers, who knows. And their whole goal was to go around to every booth and collect as many cigars as they could, free samples from the show.
Yeah.
And then they'd bring them all back to the shop, and they'd break them down into 5 or 6 pack samplers and then sell all the free samples that they got at the show.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah. I don't mind calling them out.
Well, it's complicated, so that's why I didn't want to call them out.
There's a whole bunch of hot chicks doing this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
If you're in the industry and you listen to this, you know exactly who we're talking about. But the good thing is we haven't seen them in years.
No,
so I think word got back to them once the cat was out of the bag of what they were doing.
Yeah.
So that was nice. But is that it for the questions that we had?
That is it for the listener questions. So if you have any questions while you're listening to this, go drop them down in the comments.
So I got a TikTok video sent to me after the episode that we put out where we were talking about when I grabbed the Victory cigar by the ashes, and we got a video and pictures and stuff like that when we were at the show, and the video that was sent to me was this guy on TikTok. I can't remember his name, but he does like cigar related stuff, and he's got some stuff that is really good info. A lot of it's just just trying to get clicks and views. But one of the things that he did is before he even lit the cigar, he straightened out a paper clip and he put the paper clip down the cigar.
Right. And
then he smoked it and he was talking about how long his ash was. And I was like, oh, I'm like, no. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you have to do that, like, for one, you don't know how to smoke a cigar to get a long ash. And for two, you're probably not smoking a good quality cigar that can give you a long ash.
Yeah.
It's just like, why even? I mean, I get it. Like, yes, Winston Churchill used to have a trick where he did that, and haha, it was funny, but that was way back in the day. And I think a lot of it had to do with cigarettes, or really thin cigars. But like a real premium hand rolled cigar, every single one of those cigars should be able to do that. You just have to learn how to smoke.
Well, it depends how far, but yeah.
But yeah, you just have to learn how to smoke to get that ash.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that and I was just like, yeah, we don't do that. Yeah, one of the other things I wanted to talk about in this episode was times and places we smoke cigars that aren't in a cigar lounge. Because you don't always have to be in a cigar lounge to smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
And I know most people probably understand this.
Well, yeah, there's probably a large percentage of people who never go into a cigar lounge.
Right. And they're,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would say the most obvious is probably the golf course, right?
Right.
Everybody smokes on the golf course because there's a lot of downtime. You swing, you wait for your buddies, you get to go,
get in the car.
Yeah.
Go find your ball.
It's a perfect, it's a lot easier to smoke a cigar while playing golf than like baseball or something. So,
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, definitely. You can't really do it with hockey or football.
Right.
Soccer probably frowned upon.
Yeah. So, pool, you can get away with it.
You get away with the pool. Yeah. I wouldn't try volleyball.
NASCAR is probably not a.
The pit crew though.
Oh yeah.
They could have cigars.
Yeah.
In between pits, yeah. That driver, I think they have a little bit of breeze coming through the car.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would work well. But like I tried to smoke a cigar on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Didn't really work. And I got a windshield and everything. It didn't really work.
Yeah.
Kind of grenaded.
Yeah.
We were also doing 85 on the highway. So that, if I was doing 35, it might have been a different story.
Right. Yeah. I mean, hunting and that could go.
Well, it depends where you're hunting.
You can go both ways there. Right?
Hunting in Texas, you probably get away with it.
Yeah.
Anywhere else, not a good idea. Not really.
What you're hunting, yeah.
Like when I went up to Colorado elk hunting, I brought a shitload of cigars because I was just like, well, this is going to be beautiful and awesome and blah, blah, blah. And then when you're at, 10, 11, 12,000 feet and you're hiking around.
In 10, 11 degrees.
Yeah. And the last thing you want is a cigar. Yep. So I think the last time I went up to Colorado, I lit up a 556 Field Connecticut Corona on the way home, and it was like 6 or 7 days without a cigar.
Wow.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
Like Will was driving with me, and we stopped at the gas station, and I was like, yeah, it's that time. And I grabbed a cigar, and we got back on the road, and I lit it, and I was just like, for probably 10 minutes, I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Will's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, really. It's the cleanest palate I've had in years.
No, I'll smoke doing most things though.
I'll try at least.
No, try.
There's a lot of things like I was working on my motorcycle the other day.
Yeah.
Or a month ago now, who knows? But I lit a cigar when I started the project, and I had to relight that cigar probably 5 or 6 times, just because I couldn't.
Yeah.
I got busy doing something and forgot about it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Mowing the yard on a riding mower. Push mower is a little difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Driving.
Oh yeah, have to.
I'm always smoking a cigar in my car. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. It especially like driving at night or on a long trip.
Yeah.
Towards the end, you light a cigar and it's like, okay, I'm good for an hour at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of us say 2, but it's John. You smoke fast.
I do.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned hunting, like actual in the process of hunting, like whether you're in a blind or in a stalk or doing whatever, smoking a cigar is probably not the greatest if you want to be successful. Yeah. You can do it. The animals might not agree with you.
Well, they probably want me to too. But
yeah, it's like, oh, he's back! Quick run.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite things, especially when we do, like the veteran hunts that we do, or that we're involved with, is the campfire time afterwards. Sitting around with a group of people, and one person lights a cigar and sits down, and within 10 minutes, at least half the people are smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
And then the conversations start, and it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the evening. Like this coming week, I'm going down to Roatan, Honduras with Warfighter Scuba to do some scuba diving with a big group of vets.
Not a great activity to smoke cigars.
I don't know how I'd make it work.
Yeah, you got oxygen involved and water, and
this is the water part. That's the part that
Yeah.
But I am going to bring a cigar. So we're doing a couple of wreck dives, and I'm going to bring a cigar on the wreck dives and get some pictures with it at depth, and just to kind of see. I mean, there's no way I'm going to smoke it. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Yep. I need like a little scuba bubble for the cigar.
I was just thinking that, like, wow, they have the things for the cameras. You just need a cigar shaped one, so you can just. You could tether one of the ruck cases to you,
or you get like like the actual diving, with the helmets.
Oh, like
like
the Jacques Cousteau helmet type things, where and essentially that's all you need with this. It'd have to like seal all the way to like the head of the cigar, and then as long as it's pressurized, positive pressure on the inside, then it'll keep the water out. You know what I mean? Because it will constantly have smoke coming out of the cigar into the water with positive pressure air, and then you could, in theory,
I would just figured the whole thing would be in the helmet.
That would be one of those like
your bubbles would be smoky.
I know. they bubble the surface as like these little smoke puffs.
That'd be a bad hot box. Holy cow.
Yep. That's why you got to do like a self-contained thing just for the cigar. What a way to waste like $1 million in R&D for a product that nobody would buy. I wonder how or if they would affect anything. Like you're not inhaling.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh. I'm going to have to bring this up when I'm around a whole bunch of smart scuba diving people.
There you go. They're just going to look at you stupid.
They really are. I did just see a video earlier today. I sent it to the guys down in Roatan, and it's of a dog scuba diving. They have a positive pressure helmet, and the dog's head is just in this helmet, and then the rest of his body's kind of in a bag, so he can't go crazy. They just take them around scuba diving. That'd be pretty fun. I was like, fuck, I need to figure out how to get Kira down there. I think she'd do it.
Yeah.
Yep. At first, she'd be like, fucking this guy. Always making me do stupid shit.
That's one of my favorite places is in the backyard playing with the dogs.
Yeah.
Is one of my favorite
Yeah.
times to have a cigar.
Yeah. Just sitting outside in the chair. It's
We have like another week of that here in Texas.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be like hell.
yeah.
So I'm trying to make the most of it right now.
Right. Yeah, where do you smoke when it gets hot? Like we suck it up and go outside when it's 100 degrees?
But yeah, because I had a patio with the ceiling fan. And Yeah.
The shade.
Shade.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or in the pool.
Yeah. Yeah. In the pool's awesome. I love
Yeah.
smoking in the pool.
Yep.
You definitely can't stand in the sun and just sweat smoking a cigar.
That's
Though.
not
That's
fun.
It's not great.
It's not fun. We smoke everywhere.
Yeah.
The river.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm on a boat, and as long as the captain says it's okay, all day. But I get why they say no, especially if we're going offshore. Like, we're going to be 40 miles out. Like, hey, you mind if I light this on top of 800 pounds of fuel?
I mean, you should be okay.
You should be, but if you're not, you're 40 miles away from anything.
Yeah.
I'd rather play it safe on that side.
I
Yeah.
never smoke a cigar.
I've smoked some cigars in pretty interesting places. I got to smoke a cigar in the courtyard in the center of the Pentagon. That was pretty cool. I thought I was being all like secret squirrel. That's where people go to smoke.
Yeah.
That worked there.
That's still pretty cool.
Yeah. I smoked a cigar inside University of Nebraska Lincoln's football stadium
Yep.
on the 50-yard line with a beer, and I was not supposed to do either.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you got?
Oh, I was trying to think.
Oh.
I got to I think it was a Minuteman riding around in the turret in Poland during 1AT.
Yeah.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Because the weather was perfect. We weren't moving like super fast. It was like I didn't have any problems with the cigar. It was pretty awesome until we ran into the fucking senior NCOs that were like had the God guns and stuff, and I was like, fucking tossed it to the woods. It was like, I won me. But for that little while, it was
Yeah.
fucking sweet.
We smoked on our last APC ride.
So that's true.
Yeah.
When we were in Virginia. Yep. I jumped out of a helicopter with a cigar,
Yeah.
and it made it. And Justin was actually there for that one. He ran up with a lighter and a cutter,
Yeah.
which, the hindsight, I could have jumped with those in my pocket. I just didn't.
That was pretty. I was amazed when you came down and still had that thing.
And it
I
was
like, that's fucking
it
impressive.
burned great too. Like, I thought it was going to be all messed up. Nope, not one bit.
Nice.
It did have like teeth marks, just because I was biting the
Yeah.
shit out of it. Because I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen. And then Bill, who runs Ron Canopy Parachute Team out of Florida, he actually has jump mastered complete sticks with a cigar in his mouth,
Nice.
and then jumped with it,
Yeah.
and then relit it. And it's half smoked, and relit it once he got down
Yeah.
on the ground again. And that was kind of like, hey, I heard through the grapevine that you've done this before. Think I can do it? As long as your jump master doesn't care. And I was like, so don't let him see? He's like, pretty much. I'm like, got it.
You know what? Let's start a page. Oh, I better not say it out loud. We're going to start it before this airs. You know how they have scenic pisses?
Oh yeah,
Scenic smoke.
Scenic smoke.
I like that.
Yep. We gotta claim that one before this goes live.
That is one of my favorite pages. Scenic pisses.
Yes.
It's great. Absolutely
Really is.
great.
If you could travel somewhere just to smoke a cigar, where would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I would love to go to Australia and smoke with our Warfighter buddies down
Yeah.
there.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of smoke everywhere I travel.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a specific place I would go just to smoke a cigar.
Like inside the U.S. or outside?
Anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world.
You're saying you wouldn't go back to Uday and Kusei's house and smoke a victory?
Well, it's not there anymore.
And it wasn't their house.
I know Logan and the Black Rifle guys did the 7 jumps in 7 days on 7 continents. That'd be kind of cool to do with cigars.
7 cigars.
7 cigars in 7 days on 7 continents. It'd be really expensive 7 days. Like they did it, and they did a big fundraiser and generated money for
Folds of Honor, right?
Folds of Honor. Yeah.
That's a good idea, though.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Find like 7, nationally or internationally known cigar shops or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere I've gone, I've smoked a cigar. Like, Mexico City, I landed. I literally went to grabbed an Uber and went cigar shop.
Yep.
Panama, we smoke cigars, obviously. Costa Rica, I smoke cigars.
Yeah.
Nicaragua, it's always great because you get to take them right off
the table,
right as they're rolling them. Like those are some of my favorite cigars.
Do you think they get mad when you do that?
Probably. I bet they have a way to note that happened.
Yeah.
Because they get paid by the per piece. And so like when we sit down at somebody's table and we have to fuck around for a half hour, they're like, fuck.
Right.
So we just need to tip them whenever we do that.
Yeah. They get taken care of when we get down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like everywhere I've traveled, I've had a cigar. I haven't traveled somewhere and not, at least since we started Warfighter. Before that, I mean, it's a little different, but yeah. Like one of the, I'm bringing cigars down to Roatan, and it's for kind of like the after hunt thing, the campfire talks.
Yeah.
After we get done diving, like it's an alcohol-free trip. They don't allow any of the participants in the groups to drink while they're there. Which, if you can't go a week without drinking, you probably need to be in a different program.
Don't judge.
But I'll just judge-free bubble. But also drinking and diving don't really go well together. You don't. Right. It's not a fun experience. But being able to just, by the end of the day, you're fucking exhausted anyways. But just be able to chill out and have a cigar, and then like once you're done with that, it's like it's fucking bedtime.
Well, that would prevent me from wanting that drink before I went to bed. So yeah. What else we got?
I don't know where I'd want to travel to have a cigar though. Like there's cool places. Like I'd love to go to Antarctica. Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to try to smoke a cigar down there.
I wouldn't go to Antarctica just to smoke a cigar.
It'd be cool to be able to smoke a cigar there.
Yeah.
But like, it's cold as shit.
Yeah. But if you went to Antarctica, I would just assume that you smoked a cigar there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. They're like, oh, where are you going? Yeah. Scott had a cigar there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny when I go places like I went to New Orleans for New Year's Eve, and there's not a lot of places you can smoke in New Orleans without being outside or on a patio or something. But around the Bourbon Street area, in order to get on a patio, essentially you're on a second floor balcony on Bourbon Street, and they don't just let the general public walk out there.
Yeah.
And so it was quite difficult to enjoy cigars. I could light a Minuteman in between walking between places, but that was it. And the shops and lounges that are by that area, because it's such a touristy place, and we've talked about, cigar shop etiquette before. You can't just walk in there and be like, I'm just going to use your space for a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to have to think about that one.
Yeah. It's more who I smoke a cigar with, I think, than it is where I smoke a cigar.
Yeah. Like, I think it'd be cool to smoke a cigar like on the White House lawn.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't even know if they have a back patio with tables and chairs, but that'd be cool.
I know they have a roof with like counter snipers that work for the Secret Service, and I'd love to have a cigar with one of those guys.
That'd be way better than on the lawn.
Or the office, for that matter, right now.
I'd smoke a cigar in the Oval Office as long as nobody else was in there.
Yeah. I guarantee, though. How many cigars do you think have been smoked in the Oval Office? I bet.
Well, I don't know how many have been smoked, but I know how many have been used.
I bet there's been quite a few. I don't know.
Like, who's going to tell the president no? Like, sir, you can't smoke in here.
Well, it probably wasn't smoke free till after Kennedy.
Oh, cool. Here's an executive order that says I can smoke cigars in the Oval Office.
Yeah. I doubt they do it today, but I guarantee throughout history, lots of fucking cigars have been smoked in that office.
That would be like day one.
Yeah.
Like, cool. I need air purification and an ashtray there, and there. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. So smoking was banned in the White House, has been banned in the White House since the mid 1990s when First Lady Hillary Clinton banned it.
Of course.
Of course.
Yep.
Do you know why she banned that?
I think
I'm
that
not
was-
going to stop Bill from doing what he does, but I'm going to stop him from smoking cigars. Oh, that's gold.
Where's the designated smoking area for the White House?
That's so funny. It couldn't have been a better person to do that.
Right.
Oh, thanks, Bill. Ruin it for the rest of us.
Well, the 90s, though, that was way longer than I thought it would
Yeah.
have been.
Well, I mean, nothing's happened since then that would give a reason to not allow people to smoke in there.
Well, I mean,
Clean Air Acts, but that doesn't count.
yeah.
There was no incident. There was an incident that happened
Yeah.
involving cigars in the Oval Office, and then they stopped allowing it. And if you guys are not familiar with
I'm pretty sure everybody is.
what happened in the Oval Office with cigars, just Google Bill Clinton cigars Oval Office. That should probably, here, I'll try it, but that should probably give you the information you need. Bill Clinton's
To be fair, I don't think he lit
Oval
that. somewhere.
Office cigars. Well, the first one on slate.com, which I don't know what kind of website that is or not. It's the title is What Exactly is the Cigar Story? The story is Monica Lewinsky masturbated with a cigar while President Clinton watched and masturbated as well. Yasser Arafat was supposedly kept waiting in the Rose Garden while this was going on. They said a lot of people confirmed, major news organizations confirmed. No major U.S. news organization has printed it, though. At least at the time.
To be fair, it was in a tube. She didn't just make a cigar all soggy. So
I was literally just thinking that. I was like, that couldn't have been good for long. And I cannot find a designated smoking area at the White House. But I imagine if you're with the big guy and he's like,
yeah,
hey, you got to smoke? Like, that's your designated smoke.
because Obama used to smoke cigs.
That's
right?
what I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you're the president. Like, at some point, you got to walk outside and do the whole
Yeah.
Ben Affleck meme where
Right.
it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, fuck.
This article is pretty funny because it's been so long and the details of some of the
Yeah.
stuff. Like this says, like 3 days later, the New York Post cited, quote, one insider, quote, who says Lewinsky had, in fact, told the grand jury about the cigar. And when Clinton was asked about it, he had to take an hour's break. The foreign press had fun with the story. A sample is, quote, still not inhaling, Bill, end quote, from the Toronto Sun. Clinton is the second president to have had a Cuban Missile Crisis. A piece in the London Daily Telegraph ponders whether Clinton ever rolled around that particular cigar in his teeth in public. Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Anyway.
Now that's a flavored cigar.
Yeah, if back in the day, if Hillary Clinton would have got elected, we had plans to release a specific cigar.
Yeah. Well, what else we got?
Sorry, I just got squirrel about reading other stuff. I didn't stop. Yeah. So yeah, you can kind of smoke a cigar wherever you want.
So you're in Honduras next week.
I am.
That means we're either not going to do a show, or I'm going to go solo, or we'll have a guest. One of the three.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tune in to see what happens. At least I don't think we have the capabilities to call in.
We might, but I don't know if Honduras does.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out.
Yep.
Something will be put out. We'll keep
Right.
y'all updated. If not, make sure you stay tuned to Warfighter social media and specifically John, Warfighter John on Instagram. I'm sure he's gonna be throwing up a bunch of cool stuff while he's out underwater.
Any cigar related stuff we'll be putting up on Warfighter, probably under stories, unless it's a post worthy
Yeah.
thing.
Unless he can make a contraption where you can smoke a cigar underwater.
You know, we'll see.
The wheels are spinning.
We'll see. There might be a way.
Maybe you just leave the cigar out of the water and you have a big straw.
Like 50 feet, a 50-foot straw. I wonder if that would work.
You don't even
It'd take me like 5 minutes just to get
you
smoke.
won't even need your tank then.
I wonder if I can just do it like just under the surface, like just stick a straw in the cigar and then just
Well, of
go
course you
underwater
can.
and see if it works.
Yeah. That would work.
Yeah.
Old duct tape and a garden hose and a
I mean, I just don't know how to keep it from filling with water.
yeah. Somebody in the boat who has to hold the cigar straw thing.
It needs a little life raft just for the cigar.
There you go. And a hose reel.
Yeah, it'll be like my dive marker. Like, that guy's buoy's smoking. Oh, it's a cigar. Fuck, I didn't even have any of my whiskey.
Well, I guess I don't know a whole lot else.
Well, that'll do it for today.
Yep.
Yeah, go smoke cigars. If it's your first one, go try it. If it's Humidor, season it. And don't do shady shit in the White House or your wife's going to ban smoking in the whole building.
Yeah. You're going to ruin it for the rest of us.
Fuck. Yeah. Other than that, go follow us social media, Warfighter Tobacco on all the platforms, including TikTok. It's Warfighter Co. Because they like banning us. And then go to the website, check out the sale tab. We've got some fun stuff on there. And then good luck with Scott next week.
Yeah.
and whatever guest or however that plays out.
We're just gonna have Scott drink half a bottle of Jameson and
Start
then
talking.
we'll just see what we can put out into the public.
So we recorded for 45 minutes today. Here's 12 minutes.
No. I just need a bunch of questions for next week's show. I need a bunch of questions for next week's show to get me through 40 minutes of talking by myself.
I don't know if I could talk for 40 minutes to myself
I'm not going to talk to myself.
or into a microphone. I feel like I'd run out of things.
Yeah, that's why I need a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get sick of talking to myself. I'm like, fuck it. Like, how do people do a podcast where it's just them?
Oh, I don't know. Like Rob O'Neill.
Yeah.
It's only just him.
Really?
And he talks literally the whole time. I don't know how the hell it's possible.
Ben Shapiro does the same thing.
Yeah.
And he'll put out like a 2-hour long podcast.
God,
I'm like,
yeah.
and they cover like 5 or 6 topics. And I'm like, fucking what? Like, how do you do this?
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe I'm just not that interesting.
I know I'm not.
Okay.
All right.
Cheers. We'll see you guys next week.